let's watch this video and then we'll come back and talk about it. While watching it, if you do not know this guy, this is one of the guys I like to follow on all social media platforms. We all speak football. This guy analyzes so well, and he doesn't do banter. He just purely analyzes the game with data and with videos. He shows you the tactics of each manager, each team, and tries to analyze the game. So if you don't follow him, try and follow him. But let's watch this particular video and we'll talk about it at the end of it.
There is something about this Arsenal team that I have been thinking and questioning for a very long time, that I have been scrubbing the internet and scrubbing all my usual sources looking for the exact data to support what I've been thinking. And it was just today that I stumbled upon something on Twitter that actually accurately explains what I've been saying. It's this particular graph you're seeing here. Now, this graph, the red part of it shows how teams set up against Arsenal defensively. The blue part of it shows how they set up when they play every other team. The higher that red line is, the lower the defensive block. And now, look at the red line and look at the blue line. Every team in the Premier League, all my teams in the Premier League who have played Arsenal this season, have set up lower and more defensively against Arsenal than they have any other team. Even Guardiola himself, Guardiola played a low block against Arsenal. I have watched Guardiola since his Barcelona days. I have never seen Guardiola play a low block before. He played a low block. He played 5 defenders against Arsenal. Why am I saying this? There's been a lot of banter. People, recently, I'm seeing images flying everywhere. People looking at how many goals Gyökeres have scored, how many goals Saka has only scored 1 goal in 2 million matches. What that stat does not tell you is what happens on the pitch on match days. And you blame Arsenal for scoring only set pieces. If teams, everybody you play against, play a low block against you, it is difficult for you to get goals. The fact that Arsenal are even still in this race and are still finding a way to win is something that we should praise Arteta for, not even criticize. Bukayo Saka, for instance, I don't know another winger in the Premier League, and I've analyzed a lot of Arsenal matches. Let me tell you this, I don't know another winger in the Premier League that gets doubled up on. If that's English language, that gets doubled up on the way Bukayo Saka is doubled up on. You have to double up on him, because if you don't, you give him free rein, he will destroy your defense. So if as a winger you are always having to dribble past 2 people every single match, play against a low block, when you dribble past the 2, there are 3 other people in the middle, your goal and assist will shrink. It's as simple as that. Again, look at this graph. This graph is telling you, this particular stat is telling you among the Premier League strikers who has the least space when they receive the ball inside the 18-yard box. That is to say, when you are free to receive the pass and the ball comes to you, how much space is between you and the nearest defender? Gyökeres has the least amount of space to work with in the Premier League. And the reason is because everybody sets up in a low block against Arsenal. The reason why Arsenal flourishes in the Champions League, mind you, is because in the Champions League, teams don't play a low block against Arsenal. So Arsenal can very well destroy people. They destroyed Bayern in the Champions League because Bayern didn't defend. The recent one against Inter, it was the same thing. Inter did try to defend, but they were able to play through Inter quite easily because Inter did not have the attacking prowess. But you can't do that in the Premier League. So my point is, the fact that Arsenal are still top of the table with 4 points and has scored as many goals as they have, even if it's from penalties, it's something that you should praise Arteta for. If your team is having difficulties, what you want them to do is to find a way to win. Is to find a way to score goals. And that is exactly what Arteta and Arsenal are doing. So the criticism is unfounded. I hope that makes sense to you.
All right, so now that we've seen the video and everything he has had to say, first, let me start by saying most of the things he said in this video are quite true. It is quite true that teams are low blocking against Arsenal. It's quite true that Arsenal are performing well because in the Champions League, teams open up against them. It's quite true that Pep Guardiola came to Emirates and played a low block as well. And it's quite true that Premier League most teams are now pragmatic. All the teams, in fact, are being pragmatic and deploy a tactics and go deeper against Arsenal as when compared to other teams. Now, that's out of the way. However, I have a slight problem, and this is why I feel that Mikel Arteta is not doing enough. Now, we have played more than half of the season in the Premier League. You know what is going on in the Premier League, right? So you should be able to now adopt your tactics to counter the tactics of those teams that are going low block against you. Especially this game against Manchester United. Now, one of the antidotes to a team going low block is that you score first. Now, we scored first in that game against Man U. Now, that is the time to settle the game, especially closer to halftime. Kill the game, frustrate your opponent, and then they will open up against you and try to come at you, right? Then you have more spaces to attack. Again, in my previous video, I did mention it. Our front players are not scoring enough goals. We are not creating chances. That can not only be down to teams low blocking against Arsenal. I don't buy that. There is something fundamentally wrong and needs to be addressed. That is why we are not able to play against such teams. And Slot has been complaining this season that teams are coming at them, low blocking and all of that. Oga, we don't want to be hearing this complaint. Find solutions. That is why you are there. This thing did not start today. Yes, this season teams are more and more becoming pragmatic and going low block, but you are there to find solutions. You have the resources, you have the players to find solutions. That is why you are the manager of the club. So, this guy, I respect your opinion on this issue, but I think we can still, the Arsenal team have enough to be able to break down these low blocks, right? Especially when you go 1 goal up. We went 1 goal up against Sunderland and ended up drawing. 1 goal up against Man U, ended up losing. and some other teams like that. So if that is the reason why we are not able to get over the line and pick up points, then in those games that we dropped points while leading, we should have won those ones. That's what I have to say about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and let's go.